वालेकुम सलाम सर, कैसे हैं?
सरफराज सर आ चुके हैं भाई?
Sir, you are audible, sir. We are ready, sir.
Yeah, please sir. गालिब साहब को एक मीटिंग है इम्पोर्टेंट, उनको जाना है. सो अगर प्रिंसिपल साहब आ चुके हैं तो गो फॉर द वेलकम एड्रेस and immediately please invite Galib sir, please.
Okay, sir. With your permission, shall we start, sir? Sir is about to come, sir. Principal sir is on the way.
We can. Galib sir, with your permission, sir.
Sir, we'll wait for some time. So let him come. Let the principal sir come because we have 1 hour time, and the time slot given to me is half an hour, right? So time is there. So we need not to be time.
And डॉक्टर सरफराज, आपने शेयर स्क्रीन एनेबल नहीं की, होस्ट डिसेबल किया है, सर को शेयर करने के लिए परमिशन दे दीजिएगा.
सर
सर आप चेक करिए सर, आपका स्क्रीन शेयर हो सकता है?
Yeah, so I'm waiting for them. Definitely, आप भी enable कीजिए.
Yes, sir. We have enabled, sir.
Not audible, sir. Please little bit louder, please.
I'm not audible.
Yeah, of course you are audible, sir. But you please check that whether you are able to share your screen.
Yeah. I'm waiting Sarfraz to allow me to share the screen. Sarfraz, please allow me.
Dr. Sarfraz, you take care of this, please.
Yes, sir. Sir is audible. Sir is audible, sir.
Of course, it's audible, but you please make a provision for sharing that slides, please. Please.
Yes, sir. We have provided, sir.
Okay, sir. Done, sir. Galib sir, now it is available. Okay, sir.
The principal sir has arrived, sir. We are going to start the program side, sir.
Please, sir. Just 2 minutes.
Yes, sir. Sir arrived, sir. Principal sir arrived.
Inshallah.
Sir, he arrived. Abdul, sir.
Yeah, please. Madam Rachna Paliwal भी आ चुकी हैं. Yeah, please start. Sir, please, sir.
Welcome everyone. Today, Pharmacovigilance Center, Peripheral Pharmacovigilance Center, Dr. Abdul, Unani Medical College, Kurnool, is going to start the webinar on 16th December from 2:30 to 3:30 p.m. In this, as per the protocol, I would like to request our principal to start and to address the welcome address. I request our principal, Dr. Aleemuddin Khan sir, to take over the mic. Over to principal sir.
A very good morning, very good afternoon to one and all present here. I would like to introduce myself as Dr. Misleading Khan, in charge principal of this prestigious institution of Dr. Abdul Unani Medical College and Hospital, Kurnool. Our college was founded by Dr. Abdul in the year 1954 as a charitable trust with a noble cause of serving the mankind. This prestigious institution is managed by the responsible committee of Anjuman Islamia Kurnool, which is also managing the other sister institutions like Usmania Degree College, Hajra College, Umar Arabic College. Our institution is the oldest and the only one aided institution throughout the Andhra Pradesh. Today, the aim of this program is to bring awareness on pharmacovigilance of AYUSH drugs, organized by Peripheral Pharmacovigilance Center, Dr. Abdul, Unani Medical College and Hospital, Kurnool. This center is established on 1/10/2019. Pharmacovigilance is the science dedicated to reduce the risk of drug-related harms to patients in India. National Pharmacovigilance Program under the Control Organization has initiated during 2003. First of all, I would like to thank the Ministry of AYUSH for providing an opportunity to host this webinar through Zoom meeting. Also, a warm welcome to eminent speaker, Dr. Galib Sir and Dr. Rachna Paliwal, Madam, and Dr. Mohd Aleemuddin Quamri Sahab, and to all the AYUSH doctors, students, and participants. I wish the program grand success. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Now I take the privilege to introduce our eminent first speaker, that is Mr. Dr. R. Galib sir, who completed his PhD and MD in Ayurveda stream, and then sir is an Ayurvedic scholar who is working as associate professor at All India Institute of Ayurveda, New Delhi, and then really it's my prestige and honor that to present Dr. Galib sir, that sir has awarded by 3 national level best thesis awards for the year 2016, 2017, and 2018 continuously. And moreover, sir has also got Young Scientist Award for 2017 from CCRAS. And then sir did not started his journey, but he has also published publications and then presentations, around 50 publications in different peer-reviewed journals and souvenirs, etc. And also, sir has published one book and then contribution of 10 chapters. So this is with this big and huge profile, even after having the big schedule. Now I only request our eminent speaker, Dr. Galib sir, to please start his presentation. Over to Galib sir.
मैंने ऐसी बात
Thank you so much, Dr. Sarfraz. At the outset, Dr. Khan, Principal, Unani Medical College, Kurnool, and my two parallel speakers, Dr. Aleemuddin Quamri, the coordinator for Intermediary Center at National Institute of Unani Medicine, Bangalore, and Dr. Rachna Paliwal from the Drug Control Cell, Ministry of AYUSH. Other distinguished members on the platform, students, I feel, so there may be some students of this Unani Medical College and other participants. A very good afternoon to all. And at the outset, I would like to thank the organizers for inviting me and giving this opportunity. And for the next 30 minutes, the time slot given to me is 30 minutes, and it's almost 45. So for the next 30 minutes, we will be running through the basic fundamental concepts of the pharmacovigilance in AYUSH systems and need and initiatives we will go through. So just give me a second so that I can share the slide. And I feel, okay, so you can see the slide, right? All right, so I am audible and you can see my slides, right?
Yes, sir.
Right.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. We are audible and able to see your slides.
Fine. And at the same time, I request Dr. Sarfraz ji to float at least a message in the chat box that if somebody want to highlight or if somebody want to have an interaction, So let
Sure,
them
sir.
upload questions so that
Sure.
okay, at the end of the session, otherwise even we have our mailing addresses and all those things. Anyone can write any of the questions which is related with the system, so they can float it. So I'll be running through so these slides and basically I would like to focus upon so what exactly is the scenario and what are the concerns and how this program has been initiated and so what are the objectives. So these basic issues I will put forward and so this will be again further taken care by Dr. Aleemuddin, so who will be mentioning about so what do you mean by adverse reaction and how they are being monitored and how one need to report. Okay, so these things Dr. Aleemuddin, so he will be discussing about this. And of course, I need not to say anything about the traditional systems of medicine. Okay, so all the professionals, so we know it very well that these systems, so they have a long history. So of usage, it is in the maintenance of health as well as in disease prevention and treatment. And there are so many reasons okay, so why the global demand has been increased for traditional practices and why okay, so alarmingly okay, so the demand is increasing so that there are numerous reasons. Okay, so this is not a right platform to discuss about those reasons. But the use of herbal remedies not only in CRO Southeast Asian region, otherwise also in Asian subcontinent, but the demand, the use of these herbal practices it has been widely embraced in many developed countries, and now it is becoming the mainstream in the UK and even in Europe, as well as in American countries also. So the AYUSH systems, they are immensely contributing. So it itself indicates, it itself infers that okay, so they are immensely contributing in global healthcare. They have been accepted by communities because of various other reasons. And so this growing demand, if at all we are looking to suppose, okay, so it is clearly visualized in various official global documents. Okay, so these graphs, okay, so they have been copied, otherwise okay, so they have been collected from a WHO document. Okay, so this clearly shows that okay, so if we are looking since 1999, you suppose okay, so how the the herbal product registrations herbal policies, okay, so how they are growing, so you can see it, because in 1991, 1999, so it is, the data it is not available there. But if it are we are coming to 2019, so more than 125 countries, okay, so more than 125 member states, I can say, not countries, member states of United Nations or member states of WHO, so they accepted, they have certain, policies. And even, okay, so you can see, so from different, regions, whatever we are looking, suppose, starting from African region to the region of Eastern Mediterranean region, otherwise European region, and these things we can see. And our regions, we fall into this Southeast Asian region, Euro region, so where we have 11 member countries. In these 11 member countries, we have 10 member countries okay, so who have certain policies for these traditional systems of medicine, except the Timor Leste. So Timor Leste is the only one country which doesn't have any policy for the herbal regulation. So this is very clear, and it indicates that okay, so global demand is increasing, and you can see okay, so this green area, so whatever okay, so you are seeing over here in this snapshot. So it indicates, okay, so this green area indicates that okay, so these countries have some okay, so policies to regulate traditional practices or herbal remedies. So how this herbal remedy, how this traditional formulations are being practiced in such scenarios, okay, so what is the modus operandi, how okay, so they are following. So that is different okay, so from country to country. The registration status. So the definition, basically the definition of herbal practices and all these things, so it differs. But of course, okay, so they have some acceptance. They have some ethical policies. Okay, so that is what okay, so WHO is considered at this moment. So not only for communicable diseases, for non-communicable diseases, but the demand for AYUSH interventions. Okay, so even in this in time of okay, so COVID pandemic scenario. So in this scenario also, okay, so the demand is increasing, and this is okay. So one snapshot which has been collected very recently, which was published very recently. Of course, the data it belongs to July 2020. So until July 2020, okay, so there are 203 trials which have been registered in the Clinical Trial Registry of India, which is a ICMR body. So when it has been analyzed, okay, so they came to know that about 60% of these registered clinical trials they belongs to AYUSH practices. So it infers that the demand for AYUSH interventions even in the COVID pandemic times is also it is well received. And out of okay, so the 60%, so considerable number of trials they are even belongs to Unani system of medicine too. And right. So if we, coming to this, this Unani system of medicine, suppose, because I am not master to say anything about this system of medicine, but definitely, okay, so my understanding says that Unani system of medicine is an ancient system of medicine, which is an integral part of Ayush systems, is commonly being practiced in Indian subcontinent, basically in India and some other countries, Asian countries, it is gaining popularity in recent times and has an age-old concepts and principles of drug management. So the theories of okay, so core humors and other principles so are almost there analogous with few principles of Ayurveda. And I believe that various formularies they have emphasized on proper reasoning. So in the method of preparation of drugs, and what I can say is, uh, uh, it may okay, so it may be including rationality, so underlying the combination of various medicinal plants, so minerals and animal products also you are using. So method of administration, how these formulations are to be administered. So what are the indications? What are the contraindications in different situations? And so where to restrict and what to add, okay, so what is to be advised, okay, so what kind of, okay, so abstinence of, okay, so certain diet, okay, so what we used to call it as per here, and adverse drug effects, if at all anything is there, you suppose, okay, so what kind of drug-drug interactions are there, what kind of food-drug interactions are there, what kind of food-food interactions are there, okay, so these things, okay, so these guidelines for prescribing in extremes of so ages, okay, so what could be for those for a young individual and an old individual or average age individual. So these things, I'm sure that okay, so such kind of guidelines they have been well established in the Unani formulary too, I feel. So drugs, okay, so there are complex many times in at least in Ayush systems of medicine, particularly if at all I'm considering about Ayurveda system of medicine, suppose we used to use poisonous substances, so which have been categorized into schedule even of drugs and cosmetics tax, and similar kind of concept and similar kind of categorization so is even there in the Unani system of medicine. So drugs, okay, so that are toxic in nature, so which are in crude form, so they are supposed to be processed in many ways before their therapeutic use. And in spite of the fact that every drug used in traditional system of medicine may have some side effects, the aim of the above all such kind of precautions that which we are discussing, so taken by well-informed and experienced non-physicians, was obviously to avoid any sort of adverse drug reaction. So this is my understanding. And the concept of the temperament, the misas, otherwise the pulse examination and all these things, so which have been mentioned in the classical literature of Unani medicine, so in diagnosis, otherwise in therapy. So the selection of various drugs according to their potency into various degrees for better efficacy is nothing but for the rational drug management in Unani medicine. So that okay, so if at all we are following these things, we suppose okay, so it is anticipated that okay, so these drugs, these formulations, okay, so are not going to create any sort of inconveniences. And if these drugs, let it be Unani drugs, otherwise okay, so homeopathy or whatever it may be. So if these drugs, these Ayush drugs or any other system of medicine, so can provide cure, then definitely, okay, so when human system of medicine, then Ayurveda system of medicine, and homeopathy are so whatever. So these systems of medicine, so just when they are going to create some sort of impact on the system, when they are going to give some benefit, okay, so in specific pathologies, then so it should be guided it should be guided that okay, so they are used judiciously to develop some evidence. So until and unless if we doesn't have any evidence to support them, so it becomes very difficult to address. The queries that are being raised. Of course, okay, so there are many queries okay, so that have been raised in the recent past. You may be okay, so, well versed about okay, so such kind of things. Not only okay for Ayurveda system of medicine, not only for okay, so Siddha system of medicine, but okay, so even we can see that okay, so simple yogic practices. Okay, so you can see right. So adverse events associated with yoga, and so yoga करने से भी okay, so adverse reactions, okay, so possible adverse events are possible. Okay, so this is the that of course of old publication, but it is published in class one, the topmost journal of. Okay, so it has been mentioned that there is a muscle.
डॉक्टर सरफराज सबको म्यूट कर दीजिए. डॉक्टर सरफराज सबको म्यूट कर दीजिएगा. देयर इज अ डिस्टर्बेंस प्लीज.
अच्छा तो करो ये.
Right.
चलो बेटा बात हुई है.
But okay, so there are 62% of the participants. Fine. Right. Fine. Fine. Okay. So,
Dr. Galib, sorry to interrupt you. Your voice is very low, so kindly be a bit loud.
okay. This is okay now.
Yeah,
Is this okay?
because people were mentioning in the chat also that sound is very low.
Okay.
गालिब साहब थोड़ा सा
Yes, sir.
साउंड कोशिश कीजिए. वॉल्यूम वहां पे सम इश्यूज देयर.
Okay. You are not able to hear me, sir.
But it's very soft, in fact. A little bit louder, please.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just a moment. Fine. So it is 100%. Okay. So now it is okay.
Please proceed, sir.
Right. So in the so when the global demand is increased for traditional practices, so drug safety and quality assurance, so they also becomes very imperative. So this is equally applicable to the Unani system of medicine also. So there are many concerns. Okay, so as I highlighted over here, so there are many concerns that have been raised in the recent past. So I can say that since last couple of decades, okay, so for the 15 to 20 years, there are many such kind of things. And even if somebody is interested in suppose, so the tweet, whatever I mentioned, the right lower bottom is okay, yesterday's tweet by okay, Abdul. So he's countering on various practices of traditional systems of medicine. So that is interesting. So some interesting discussion is going on this one. So if anybody is interested, in suppose okay, so they can go to this his site and you can follow the discussion. And unfortunately, of course, there are concerns are there, but unfortunately, so no systematic data on the incidences of traditional medicines associated with adverse drug effects is existing in the scenario. So one of the difficulties, okay, so there may be many difficulties. So, but these difficulties we'll see later on. And of course, if you look into okay, so this database of WHO, suppose okay, so there are many okay one survey they have conducted in 2017, and the data says that many of the member countries, not only in Indian scenario, not only the Indian scenario, but Okay, so overall, okay, so about 190 member countries, okay, so when they surveyed, okay, so they say they came out that, okay, so lack of research data for these traditional practices, herbal practices, okay, so is one, and the lack of financial support for research, okay, so that is the second thing, and lack of mechanisms to monitor safety practices, okay, so that is thing, and the lack of appropriate mechanism to monitor and regulate traditional and complementary practices, and lack of appropriate mechanisms to control and regulate. Okay, so advertising and change, of course, advertising. Dr. Rachna ji, so then, Madam, she will take care of this one. But okay, so the thing is, okay, so throughout the globe, if we are looking, suppose, okay, so there is a, okay, there are a huge number of concerns towards regulation of, okay, so traditional practices. So this is so inferred, okay, so in this specific document. And whatever it may be, the natural substances, etc., were looking, suppose, okay, many times, okay, so people, the consumers, okay, so they used to think that, okay, so consumers always, so they used to believe that natural is safe, and the natural remedies from, okay, so the natural, okay, so natural origin are harmless, and they carry no risk. Okay, so this is one consumers, okay, so believe. But obviously, so they have medicinal values and are beneficial for human health. However, it is very important to remember that natural doesn't necessarily mean, okay, so they are safe. Of course, okay. So Ayush drugs, okay. So many people, they used to feel that, okay, so they are safe and they doesn't need any supervision. Okay, so whenever they want to be used, they don't also have an expiry date. Okay, so they used to feel that, okay, so they can be, the oil products can be administered for long with other systems of medicine. Okay, so along with other systems, it be conventional or it be Peripheral, the individual is taking Unani system of medicine. Suppose, okay, so the Ayush, Ayurveda and Siddha and homeopathy medicines also can be consumed. Okay, so such kind of, okay, so wrong beliefs are there, and this is natural. So okay, so that can be consumed. Okay, so as much as is as required. Okay, so such kind of beliefs are there in the system, but okay, so they are not always true. And okay, so there are a huge number of, okay, so issues are there. Okay, so why and how, okay, so these Ayush systems, okay, so are facing certain problems. Okay, so there are various issues. Let it be, okay. So the therapeutic approaches are, they are unique in nature. So when traditional systems of medicines are considered, okay, it is not only applicable to Unani system of medicine, but okay, so that can be equally applicable to all, okay, so traditional systems of medicine. Health maintenance and disease management in traditional medicine approaches. Okay, so they deal with empirical practices, so including medication with natural elements. Okay, so which are focusing on overall wellness with varied methodologies and philosophies. And every individual, okay, so they are considered as unique in his constitution. So the basic modalities of disease and and treatment, okay, so they are based upon various factors, including stage of the disease and severity of the disease, and the medicines are prescribed on a personalized manner, so it is customized to specific individual, and after examining, okay, so all those factors. So that is why, okay, so it is very unique in traditional systems of medicines, and it is equally applicable to Unani system of medicine also. So understanding of human individuality through assessment of each individual constitution, which is known as Mizaj in Unani system of medicine, it forms the fundamental basis for such practices. So explaining that every individual is unique in his constitution, so that's why customized treatment will come over here. So considering such kind of customized therapeutics approaches, it becomes very difficult in implementing pharmacovigilance systems for traditional systems of medicine. But at least, okay, so we should come out with some sort of what I can say, so documentation. Otherwise, so databases. That is also one objective of this program. And the herbal medicine is also many a times, as I mentioned just now. Okay, so people, they used to consider it as okay, so naturally safe. Okay, so that is what, okay, so people, they used to think. But always it is not so, right? So herbal medicine is, it is a medicine. It is not food. Consumers many times, okay, so they used to consider it as safe, but it is not true always. So at times what happens, on the other hand, okay, so fraction of herbal medicines, they are available as non-prescription medicines. So, when these non-prescription medicines, okay, so they have been supplied. Otherwise, okay, so traditional practices they have supplied as food supplements or dietary supplements or botanicals, you suppose. So, in that case also, okay, so it becomes very difficult to address. Okay, so situations where adverse drug reactions manifested with such kind of administration. So that's why, okay, so there are many subtleties. So in the legal differentiation between food supplement and herbal medicine. So pharmacovigilance reporting, so it may not be compulsory. So when botanicals and food supplements and dietary okay, so supplements are considered, so that adverse drug reactions okay, so that might develop in such cases. So they may not enter into the databases of okay, so adverse drug reactions, otherwise databases of pharmacovigilance. So which is very important. And the complexity, if at all we are looking, suppose traditional practices complexity, you know it very well that unlike synthetic medicines, herbal medicines are typically they are chemically rich and complex products. Okay, so that are not a single isolated compound. A number of factors okay, so can influence the qualitative and quantitative chemical profile of a drug. And you know it very well that it is a geographical origin if at all we are looking. So let it be climate or soil or photo periods or plants of the parts. Okay, so which kind of part is supposed to be collected at which part of the season, at which part of the day, at which part of the year, from which part of the okay, so place. Okay, so these exclusive descriptions they are available in the classical literature of okay, so I feel in, even in Unani system of medicine also. So in which season it is to be harvested, right? How it is to be stored, where it is to be stored, and what is the processing? Okay, how it is to be processed? Okay, so how it is to be extracted, how it is to be manufactured, what kind of combinations are there? Okay, so what kind of combinations of herbs or metals and minerals and animal origin? Okay, so substances are supposed to be added in which direction, in which okay, so combinations, and okay, so they have okay, so all these kind of research they have a greater impact in the therapeutic and great impact on chemo profile of the traditional medicinal formulation also. So moreover, okay, understanding okay, so that kind of complexity, okay, so it becomes very difficult. Okay, so in case of traditional systems of medicine, but okay, so somehow okay, so these things are supposed to be okay addressed okay, so when we are considering the traditional pharmacovigilance for traditional systems of medicine. And if you look into this, okay, so interactions also you suppose okay, so health interactions, otherwise health food interaction or food interaction. So there are n number of okay, so kind of concepts okay, so they are coming to life. Uh, of course, consumers okay, so seems to believe many a time that traditional products are natural. They believe that those products are natural and safe. Okay, so there's no pollution. So in the scenario, herbal products, okay, so they are usually okay, so right, being used as dietary supplements or nutraceuticals, and such supplements are available okay, so this is one biggest problem. But when herbal medicines are generally okay, so also used in conjunction with other medicines, okay, so as a concomitantly, okay, so they need to use. And it is essential to understand the consequences of such combined use and monitor whether any adverse effect and effects are arising with such concomitant use. So this should be addressed in the pharmacovigilance system. Okay, so right, so whether the consumers, okay, so they are using these medicinal formulations along with conventional medicines, along with okay, so conventional medicines concomitantly, if at all concomitantly they are using it, okay, so what is happening? Okay, so whether it is a synergistic action, whether it is antagonistically they are acting. Okay, so this documentation, this database is very much essential, and we need to understand. Okay, so we never can underestimate okay, so this area in therapy. Unfortunately, so evidences on health drug interactions and their concomitant use with prescribed drugs is very minimal. So we doesn't have any okay, so such kind of documentation as such, so it is an important aspect to be considered in pharmacovigilance system. Of course, okay, so material vigilance is there. So this is of course budding, otherwise it is gaining momentum, I can say, in conventional science, but not in medical traditional medicine, but it is very recently it has been considered, and we are working upon this specific area of material vigilance. So material vigilance is nothing but any distortion, otherwise any change of the characteristics or the performance of a device which might lead to risk or serious relapse in the state of health of the patient, also need to be reported. So this is under material vigilance. But okay, so what kind of materials we are using? What kind of materials? Okay, so considered in conventional sciences, and what kind of materials being used in traditional systems of medicine, that may be there may be a difference, but definitely materials are materials. Okay, so let it be conventional science or traditional science. Okay, so using them. So when there is some sort of I mean altered okay, so health benefit, otherwise okay, so adverse events, okay, so that are noticed with the change of the materials, okay, so that need to be considered in the system. So, okay, so this is some inseparable part of the pharmacovigilance part. So even in the traditional systems of medicines, as I mentioned, so it is common preparing many medicines in different metallic intensities. So on the other hand, okay, so exclusive description of various equipment and instruments in therapeutics, it is available in the traditional medicine textbooks, and even practiced even, okay, so they are practiced even today. So these classical instructions, okay, so they enabled the traditional physicians to choose suitable instruments with the intention to provide safety in their patients. So except classical literature, so as I mentioned, so there is no systematic documented evidences on this aspect, okay, so they are available. They are not available. So that's okay, so it becomes imperative to include, okay, so this point, this area in the pharmacovigilance systems. And of course, one important thing is, okay, so this rampant objectionable advertisements, of course, Dr. Rachna ji in the next session, okay, so they are going to handle about, okay, so this specific area. But advertisements and the consumer culture, okay, so they have become mean part and parcel of our life today. And in the present globalized era, advertising, so it plays an important role. And misleading advertisements, okay, so as I mentioned, so they're rampant in few countries, and such products are generally ineffective. Generally, they are ineffective. So I'm not saying that they are useless. Generally, they are ineffective, but okay, so they are also associated with the potentially serious side effects also. Controlling otherwise having a check on such kind of misleading advertisements is one important area to be considered, and the 60% of the member states, okay, among 190 member states of the United Nations, around 60% of the member states, okay, so they have mentioned that they doesn't have any regulation on such kind of misleading advertisement, which is one important concern, which is global concern. And this is of course, okay, Rachnaji, I feel so they will highlight about this one, but I would like to say that okay, except the pharmacovigilance program of India, so none of the, okay, so that too, that pharmacovigilance program of traditional systems of medicine, except, okay, so our program, so none of the existing programs considered reporting such rampant misleading advertisements in pharmacovigilance system. So this is one important area for which I, okay, so I'm putting forward over here. And the last issue is, it is skilled manpower. Though of course, despite of global concern against, okay, so medication safety, and it is unfortunately, okay, so there is lack of awareness regarding such kind of programs. And of course, okay, so area reporting among healthcare professionals is, of course, okay, so nowadays it is increasing, but otherwise, okay, so awareness is very minimal, so that I can say. Of course, okay, so I'm not, okay, so when I give this statement, okay, so I'm not considering only the Indian scenario, but obviously, but we are looking the global scenario, you suppose, so this is well reported that awareness is very minimal. Particularly, okay, so in the developing countries like, let it be, okay, so last week, so there was, okay, so I was representing for a zero meeting, okay, so there are around 11 countries representatives were there. So who said that, okay, so let it be Myanmar or Mauritius or Bangladesh, Bhutan, Nepal or Sri Lanka. Okay, so these countries, okay, so categorically they mentioned that, okay, so there is a lack of awareness for traditional systems of medicine. So studies, okay, so they have indicated that areas are very poorly being reported by healthcare providers. So that's why okay, all such professionals need to have a considerable knowledge and expertise so that they can successfully contribute in the pharmacovigilance system. So early detection and management and reporting of safety issues, they hold highest importance in the system of pharmacovigilance. That all the healthcare professionals, they should be trained and at regular intervals to improve skills related to the concepts of pharmacovigilance systems, and particularly so they need to be trained in various other, of course, technical aspects. So we need to, but the program which we, okay, currently is doing is, okay, so at least we need to develop some sort of awareness that, okay, so there is a pharmacovigilance system for traditional systems of medicine. There will be, okay, so these, though they are traditional systems of medicine, they will be associated with some sort of adverse reactions. ट्रेडिशन सिस्टम से भी, यूनानी सिस्टम से भी, आयुर्वेदा सिस्टम से भी adverse reactions होते हैं, right? So such kind of adverse reactions, okay, so they are supposed to be, okay, so there is a mechanism existing in the scenario. Such kind of, okay, so adverse, otherwise inconvenient situations are supposed to be reported. Okay, at least, okay, so we should come up with some sort of, so such kind of awareness. This is the initiative. Okay, so what peripheral pharmacovigilance unit is doing. So that is, okay, so one thing. And so you can see, of course, because I'm not going to say anything about, okay, so these advertisements, okay, so Rachna ji, okay, so she will handle about this one. But the first one, what I noticed just a couple of days back, we read, okay, so in our curriculum, we read that vitamin C. Vitamin C is water soluble, right? Water soluble. So vitamin C is water soluble. But okay, so this advertisement, okay, so they are saying that in this oil, in this cooking oil, vitamin C is okay. They are okay. So vitamin C is, okay, so added into this. Cooking oil. I'm not sure. So I'm not saying that, okay, so this is a misleading advertisement, but okay, so we can have a inquiry into this. Okay, so how vitamin C can be expected in oil when we, okay, so everyone, okay, so understood, when everyone knows that vitamin C is okay, so water soluble vitamin. So how it is entering into this, okay, so oil, that I'm not sure. There are many, okay, so such kind of concerns. Okay, so let it be heavy metal toxicity, let it be, okay, safety concerns, let it be, okay, so interactions, let it be, okay, so evidences, okay, so definitely, okay, so I can say that we are lack, okay, so of there is evidences, but the thing is, okay, definitely, okay, so lack of evidences, okay, so we need to develop, okay, so that's what I want to say, that, okay, so evidences are very minimal, but we need to come up with some sort of, okay, so evidences, we need to develop, we need to prepare, we need to generate some sort of databases, that too system-wise databases, so that can help us in many directions. So okay, so the need of pharmacovigilance is felt, okay, so in this direction, and if at all the pharmacovigilance program is coming up with some sort of systematic documentation, systematic database on okay, so system-wise okay, adverse reactions. Otherwise, safety documentation, suppose it helps in many directions. Okay, so you know it very well, because how the system is going to useful or helpful. Okay, so definitely you know that it is okay. So such kind of documentation, they will refine our clinical practices, right? So they will refine our clinical practices. They will facilitate us to implement the clinical principles of traditional systems of medicine. And always, okay, so if we have some sort of documentation, suppose, so they will minimize the mistakes in clinical practices. And ultimately, if we have the documentation, suppose, and that public trust, okay, so that can be enhanced by, okay, so that on scientific lines, definitely. And so we may, okay, so we may be able to prove, okay, Ayush medicines are safe, okay, so if such kind of documentation is there, suppose we can say that we can definitely come out and to convince the authorities to say that the Ayush medicines are safe within that classical purview. And only, okay, so improperly, if at all they are practiced, to suppose, then only they are going to create some sort of inconvenience, or they are going to lead to, okay, so adverse events, okay, so that we can say. and we can, as I mentioned, so evidence-based documentation so that is possible. So that so ultimately, so these IELTS systems they can go into mainstreaming under globalization. So that is so possible. So in this direction, the basic documents of WHO if at all we are looking suppose. So we need to have some regulation. We need to adopt certain regulations concerning the standards with respect to the safety, right? So with respect to the purity and the potency of pharmaceutical products, of course, not only the pharmaceutical products, but all sorts of products which are moving into the international commerce. So such kind of things are needed, and so Eric declaration also so it has been said categorically. So they mentioned that every country, right, every country, so they need to have a system with independent expertise to ensure that safety information on all available drugs is adequately collected and made accessible to all. So in this direction, so that pharmacovigilance program has been established in Indian scenario, and so this is of course this is PPPI, is basically for a conventional system of medicine, so which is functioning since last 1980s, I feel, so almost since last 35 to 40 years. So this program is running in the Indian scenario, and this is So I mean, it is WHO Collaborating Center for Pharmacovigilance Program for Southeast Asian region. Of course, it is not considering the traditional practices as such, but so they are considering the herbal pharmacovigilance reports. And so I mean, for traditional systems of medicine, so this practice was not there with pharmacovigilance. Program was not there initially. Way back in 2007, almost 13, 14 years back, so this program it was thought of, and of course, very preliminary discussions. So they took place in 2007 December. There was a workshop, and so the valedictory program it was addressed by some of the AYUSH professionals, otherwise the administrative authorities. So who pointed out that so we need to have some sort of vigilance mechanism for even traditional systems of medicine. So that was the initiative, and in 2008, so this pharmacovigilance program for traditional systems of medicine. So that was initiated in this beautiful building, so which is nothing but Institute for Postgraduate Teaching and Research in Ayurveda, which is located in Gujarat Ayurveda University, Jamnagar. And you can see Professor Ravinarayan Acharya. So he's definitely I can say that so he's the first program coordinator. So he took much time to establish this program, and of course so because of so certain other reasons, so it couldn't continue for long. So after a couple of years, so it has it couldn't be continued for certain other reasons. But again, in 2007, if at all we are looking to suppose in 2007, 17, sorry, so in 17 again, so this program has been revived under the chairmanship of Dr. B.C. Katoj, who is heading the drug control cell at Ministry of AYUSH. So he initiated this program once again, and since 2018 January, so this program again so it became live. And there are of course basic differences in between the initial program and the latter program, but it is not needed now. But the thing is, the reporting mechanism, the hierarchy it is almost same. So initially also it was three-tier system, and here also it is three-tier system. So there is one national center, and under this national center, so there are 5 intermediary centers, and of course for Ayurveda there are 2. One is at Jaipur and one is at Jamnagar, while National Institute of Unani Medicine, so which is being coordinated by Dr. Aleemuddin Quamri, so he is the intermediary center for Unani systems of medicine, and one in Chennai and one in Kolkata. There are altogether 5 centers which are intermediate centers, and we have 74 peripheral centers currently. The target is to increase the peripheral number of peripheral centers to 100. Of course, 35 Ayurveda and 14, 11, and 13. And so these are the Siddha, Unani, and Homeopathy centers. And very recently, a couple of months back, even we included Sobadipa system also. So altogether, we have 74 centers, and these 74 centers they are scattered throughout the country. And this is the what I can say, the website, okay, so which was developed for the pharmacovigilance program of all systems. Of course, I cannot say that it is comprehensive. It is in a budding stage. So we are developing, okay, so basic preliminary information, so it is there currently, and the attempts are being made to, okay, so update the information. So one can go, okay, one can click on this link and they can enter into the website to see so what exactly is happening there. And of course, the basic mandate of this program is, as I mentioned, so just now, to inculcate the reporting culture is the basic objective, and facilitate the documentation of suspected adverse events, otherwise reactions is, okay, so the basic thing. And so that, okay, so if the reactions and events are coming, suppose, okay, so we can generate system-wise databases of such kind of inconveniences, so that at the end of the year, at the end of the day, so we can say that, okay, so this is the database which is speaking something about the safety aspect, which is speaking something about the, okay, toxicity aspect, otherwise whatever it may be, so that we can say, okay, once if these databases are formed, we suppose, then one can say that, okay, one can evolve the evidence-based recommendations on clinical safety. So this is the basic objective, mandate of, okay, so this program. Apart from this one, just, okay, so as I mentioned earlier, reporting the instances of misleading advertisements is also one of the basic mandate of this program. So which is nowhere considered in any of the, okay, so global pharmacovigilance programs. This is one exclusive the mandate of the pharmacovigilance program for AYUSH systems of medicine. Of course, okay, so in details, the other two speakers will look into this aspect. But ultimate objective, ultimate goal of pharmacovigilance is to promote the safe and effective use of health products, in particular by providing timely information about the safety of health products to the patients, to the healthcare professionals, and to the public as well. So pharmacovigilance is therefore it is an activity contributing to the protection of patients and maintaining public health. And okay, so this reporting format, I'm not going into details. Okay, so this format it is there on the website. You can see the link also, and I'm sure, okay, so that Aleemuddin, so they will be handling about, okay, so this aspect of how to fill, and so what kind of points are supposed to be considered. Of course, okay, so before, okay, so concluding, so just I would like to say that no medicine is absolutely safe, whatever it may be. Okay, so there are different aspects. All these aspects they are well considered, well covered in the traditional Unani formulas and pharmacopoeia, and the classical literature of Unani medicine, which medicine at which place, how it is to be, in which combination it is to be administered. Okay, so it is well understood, well, explained in the classical literature. So those things are supposed to be considered, and if at all these given classical principles are not followed, you suppose, then only, okay, so inconveniences, otherwise, okay, so adverse reactions are anticipated, otherwise, okay, so they are taken. So there are many, okay, so such kind of documents, they are available on the web. Okay, so you can download those things and the ebooks. Okay, so you can save in your, okay, so in your system. Okay, so all these documents, they are freely available on the WHO's website. Okay, so you can download them, so that, okay, so we can provide the right information to the customer and
ये
consumer.
एक्चुअली इसमें रिकॉर्डिंग
So
चल रही है
there is no doubt that, okay, so
प्रैक्टिस
AYUSH
स्ट्रीमिंग चल रही है भाई
credentials
ईयरफोन
in
दोनों
the
में लगा
presence
के
and
आवाज
management
बाहर
of
जा
various
रहा है
technologies and contribute
रोबोट ही
to
कर
the
रहा
global
है
healthcare. Okay, so no
मेरा
person
भी एक
no
चाहिए
country can
मुझे सेट करो
object upon this thing. So definitely, okay, so AYUSH systems, okay, so they have significantly
चाहिए
contributed to the global healthcare. There is no doubt
डायरेक्ट बात
about
नहीं
that
कर
one.
सकती है
And if you see, so any sort of
हाँ वही मैं बोल रही हूँ ना इसमें रिकॉर्डिंग करके इसमें
suspected
लाइव
adverse
स्ट्रीम
events,
कर रही है
otherwise
इसमें
it is
जैसे प्रॉब्लम हो रही है
physical advertisement. So our responsibility as a healthcare professional is to report, where to report, how to report, that is when to report. Okay, so
इसमें
these aspects that we follow now. But the thing is, our mandate, the thing is, okay, so our function, our responsibility is just to report it. We need to report it. Okay, what happens if at all we are reporting, so that we report it, right? So thank you so much for being there with me. And then if any problem is there, okay, so I'm sorry for my voice is like that. Okay, so I'm not sure, okay, how much of you can heard me, but so we are there. Okay, so we are there always 24/7 to address you. Okay, so in this first mail address it is there, so you can write us at this address and this mail address. or you can visit us on that website. Okay, so you can write down on my personal mail address also. You can call me or you can drop me a WhatsApp text at this mobile number. So we are always there for hearing you. So please guide us whatever we can technologically, so otherwise it is in a technical point of view we can move ahead. Thank you so much, Dr. Sarfarati, for giving me this opportunity, and all the participants for listening. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much. Really, it's a very informative and very descriptive information regarding the awareness of pharmacovigilance. So, we are very much thankful to you, sir, from our in charge principal and from our institute and from all the participants. I extend gratitude to you, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Now, sir, thank you so much, sir, for sparing your valuable time, even after having your busy schedule. We are very much thankful to you, sir. During such these webinars, it's a common problem, sir. Some technical errors may take place, but we urge excuse to you, sir. We try to make it our level best, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Now, thank you very much. Why the need of pharmacovigilance felt and what is the importance of pharmacovigilance? Really, sir, in detail you have explained. Thank you so much, sir. Now, our second speaker, eminent speaker, Dr. Muhammad Aleemuddin Quamri, sir. Let me take the privilege to express about the biography of our mentor, Dr. Aleemuddin Quamri, sir, presently working as leader at head of the department of Waljad National Institute of Unani Medicine, Bangalore, and is a coordinator, intermediary, Pharmacovigilance Center for Unani Drugs, Ministry of AYUSH, Government of India, New Delhi, and then he is having clinical experience of 28 years, and then teaching experience of 21 years, and he is 16 years of research experience. Then research work guide. Sir has guided 30 PG scholars and then 5 PhD scholars, and then he has 100 scientific and research articles, including the original research papers. And then areas of research, sir has areas of research in musculoskeletal diseases, Ilaj with Tadbir, psychiatry, and the lifestyle diseases, dermatology. And then sir has attended 60 conferences, and then he has invited speaker as 7 times as international invited speaker, and then for 15 national seminars. And then sir has a number of responsibilities. Let me once again let me take the privilege to present in front of you, dear participants, that sir is an academic in charge of NIVM since 2015 to till date, and then member admission committee NIVM Bangalore from 2014 to 2015 to 2004 to 5, and then 15 to 16 and till date. And then member secretary institution ethical committee for biomedical research of NIVM from 2013 to till date. And then member board of studies PG Unani, Rajiv Gandhi University of Health Sciences, Karnataka, Bangalore from 2012 to till date. And then member editorial board, Journal of Research in Unani Medicine, JR UM from 2008 to till date. And then few more responsibilities are there. Member formulation committee of NIVM from 2015 to till date. And then in charge of resident medical officer during the year 2018 to 2009. And then in charge library NIVM Bangalore from 2012 to 2013. And then member editorial committee of institutional newsletter. And then technical reviewer of dossier on Unani system of medicine, the science of health and healing, Department of AYUSH, Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, Government of India, New Delhi from 2012 to 2013. And then member of committee for the preparation of draft manual of Unani Health Science College, NAG 2018. And then finally, sir is the member editorial board, International Journal of Unani Medicine and Integrative Medicine from 2017 to 2020. by having the huge biography. It's my really pleasure and honor to invite such an eminent speaker and coordinator intermediary
Newsletter
Pharmacovigilance
institute होता है ना ये
Center,
देखो ये
Dr.
सर्कुलर आया था तो ये
Aleemuddin Quamri
करके
sir,
देना तो
to
सर ने मुझे
please
पकड़ा थे
address the
मैं कर ही नहीं
participants.
पाई
Over to Dr. Aleemuddin Quamri sir. Thank you, sir.
Dr. Sarfraz, beautiful introduction. I'm very much grateful to you for having such a wonderful words and almost it's a detailed introduction from your end to me.
My pleasure, sir.
We start this presentation. Let me acknowledge the very dynamic,
अभी वो कब से निकले
a very
जुलाई से
instrumental personality
जुलाई से
in this
दिसंबर
project,
तो वही मैं ढूंढ
Dr.
के देखूंगी क्या
Ruknuddin
क्या है
Galib, who is the national coordinator of this program. Under his dynamic leadership only, this project is being very successful. I know today he's having a meeting with the Director General WHO, Tedros Adhanom, along with other members. He told me that he has to be there in the meeting by 3:30. Even though being a responsible person, he accepted our
अभी हम
invitation
लोगों ने यहाँ से कर दिया ना
deliberation, this webinar. For that, I am very much indebted to you, Dr. Galib sir. I am very much thankful to you on behalf of the organizers because you accepted and joined this program, which makes this very wonderful evening with your knowledge. Thank you, sir. Before I start, I thanks the organizer who gave me the opportunity to play some of my views about this pharmacovigilance program. Thank you, dear organizers, particularly the co-coordinator, Dr. Sarfraz, and the in-charge principal of the Unani Medical College and other faculty members. I am also, before I take a talk, I invite my next speaker, Dr. Rachna Paliwal, who is advisor, Homeopathy, Ministry of AYUSH also. Good evening, good afternoon, dear all august participant of this webinar. As I've been asked to tell something about the adverse drug reaction, monitoring and reporting. This is one of the global issue. Before, may I know that I'm audible? Is it my voice is clear?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, you are clear.
Yeah.
Kumar sir, you are clear. You are clear.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Though the topic is a very vague in the sense it encompasses so many things, but I'm restricting to the AYUSH system of medicine in general and very particular to Unani system of medicine. As because though the information will be a very generalized one, I'm trying to focus on some of the key points of the Unani where how this ADR or what are the drugs where the ADR is probably suspecting. As you know, this is a part of the pharmacovigilance program, which is according to the WHO, it is science and activities relating to the detection, assessment, understanding, and prevention of adverse effects or any other possible drug-related problem. This is what exactly the definition and understanding of the pharmacovigilance. Otherwise, we can say the science of medicine safety monitoring or drug safety. In total, the whole objective of the program is focusing about drugs free from any reactions. That's the reason I selected this topic to discuss something about the adverse drug reaction. I thought it is my sense to explain the terms. What does it mean by adverse reaction? Beyond that, there are certain terms which we usually come across during our presentation and day-to-day practice as a physician as well as adverse drug reaction is something. It is a response. It is a response to a drug which is noxious, which is poisonous, and unintended, and which occurs at a normal dose.
Discord students have regular.
Request everyone to mute their mic.
Yeah. Adverse reaction is something, it is a response to drug which is noxious, poisonous, and something unexpected, and which occurs at a normal dose that is prescribed to you in a man for either as a preventive, diagnostic, or a treatment purpose of any disease, or sometime to modify the physiological function. There are certain other terms which equally comes in the field, adverse event or adverse experiences. It means adverse event and adverse experience stand for toward medical occurrence that may present during treatment with the pharmaceutical product, but which does not necessarily have a causal relationship with this treatment. that makes a small difference, a meager difference between adverse reaction and adverse event. If you look at this mechanism in this adverse drug reaction has a suspicion of causal relationship between the medicinal product and the reaction, whereas the adverse event does not necessarily have such a causal relationship. That is only the difference between adverse and adverse event. There are certain terms which called as unexpected adverse reaction, where generally the people won't expect an adverse reaction, the nature or severity of which is not consistent with domestic labeling or the market authorization or expected from the characteristics of the drug. There are terms generally we use called as serious adverse events or reaction, where a serious adverse event or reaction is any untoward medical occurrence that had happened at any dose that can lead to result in the death of the person who used the drug. Sometimes they requires hospitalization, or if they're staying in the hospital, it needs to the prolongation of the existing hospitalization. Sometimes the result in persistent or significant disability, or it can lead to incapacity of the person who made adverse drug reaction. Sometimes this severe adverse drug reaction may be leading to a life-threatening also. This is what the understanding of this serious drug reaction. And all these kind of ADRs will be defined under certain terms like SUSAR, which stands for Suspected Unexpected Serious Adverse Reaction, which means all suspected adverse reaction related to an investigational medicinal product and comparator that are both unexpected and serious are subject to expediting reporting. Mean they have to report immediately, right? There is another term, unexpected adverse event or ADR. Sometimes we never expected that how this happen. This unexpected ADR stand for it is one of for which the nature and the severity is not consistent with information in the relevant source document, domestic labeling or marketing authorization are expected from characteristics of the drug. Beyond that, these are all the sum of the terms which are part of my discussion, which covers adverse drug reaction, monitoring and reporting. In the medical literature, such ADRs are classified by different people based upon certain criteria. This is purely an academic discussion. If any student who is studying this pharmacology and during the medicine, most of us we have come across, there are different classifications of adverse, types of adverse drug reaction system. Like one is this classical pharmacological classification where immunological and non-immunological categories there. But here we are supposed to follow the Wilson Brown classification where these adverse reactions are categorized with the alpha characteristics alphabet like A, type B, type C, type D, like up to type H. And subsequent in the bracket I have mentioned A stands for augmented, desired, chemical, delayed, end of treatment, familial, genotoxicity, hypersensitivity and unclassified. Beyond that, there are other classifications also, Rollins and which is also called as ABCD classification. And another few are like Dodds, Gale and Coombs is there. And beyond that, there are other classifications. I told you, our topic of discussion, my discussion is about ADR, understanding ADR and monitoring and reporting. So let us try to understand type A reactions, which is considered to be called as augmented reaction. My dear ardents, this kind of reactions which can be predicted from the non-pharmacology of the drug. Suppose if you are giving any medication to any individual, based upon the medical knowledge of the pharmacological product, you can predict that whether this drug have any reaction. And generally, augmented reactions are based upon dose dependency. If you follow the normal dose, probably they won't cause any ADR. If the dose is higher than the normal prescribed one, sometimes it may causes reaction. And this can be alleviated by a dose reduction. Suppose, let us take an example of some of the drugs from the Unani literature, what we have come across. Azaraki, that is Kuchula, this is Naxwamika, Ajwain Khurasani, Sakmunia, Karbakh, Abhal, Afyun, Datura, Beyond that, Sambalfar, Besh, Shahmehanzal, Abu Salatin, Revanchini, Neem, that Azada Kandika, all these drugs have been defined in our Unani literature as that fourth degree temperamental drugs. So all fourth degree, irrespective of it is a har or barid, their administration is limited with a prescribed dosage with proper mudabbir, mean properly they have to detoxify themselves, then only should be administered given. If Azraki, Ajwain, Sakmunia, Kutki, Abbal, Afyun, Datura, if you're using beyond the prescribed dosage, all such drugs or any one of the drug may cause augmented kind of reactions. The scientific report says that Azadirachta indica, neem, if it given in a more than the prescribed quantity, it may causes multi-organ dysfunction. It has been observed in a practical experiences, and also our literature is imbibed with the description of a physician while prescribing the drug should be taken care while mentioning the dosage of a drug either individually or in combination. Similarly, there is a type B, that is bizarre reaction, where as a physician, you cannot predict from the pharmacology of the drug that this drug may cause a reaction. And here, there is not a dose dependent. Like in the previous, we are discussing about the dose dependent. If the dose is higher, it may causes something wrong, adversary. But here in the bizarre type 2, it is not a dose dependent, but the most important point here, it is the host dependent factors which plays very important role in manifestation of these reactions. Because as our previous speaker, Dr. Galib sir, has told that this is a global issue for the traditional and complementary medicine, because we don't get enough researchers and sponsors. There is a lack of research data about the drugs ADR, and there is no proper mechanism to monitor safety and traditional complementary medicine, as because globally Unani system of medicine, AYUSH system of medicine has also been considered as a traditional and complementary medicine. That makes us to provide the exact information about the bizarre reaction, even though I tried to find, I have found some of the exemplaries under the category of type B reactions are, one study reported that henna, that is leucemia, जो आम तौर पे हाथों पे रंगाई के लिए इस्तेमाल करते हैं, and the people also uses as a hair dye. It contains a leucine, a chemical substance that causes a severe kind of a reaction. We know that the greater majority of the people uses henna for as a aesthetic purpose, as a cosmetology also, but very few people reported reactions. That particularly indicates that there's a host dependent factors are there which causes this kind of a reaction, and such a reactions will be considered as a type B. Similarly, kunjat is the sesame seeds, and Ayurveda, almost in the traditional system of medicine, kunjat is a blended form that oil is used as a base for several oil preparation, and this is one of the food also we use as a traditional food substance. But often it has been observed that there are people who often complains of some sort of anaphylaxis or mild to moderate intensity reactions with the use of kunjat. And moreover, laban, the curd, ribe, there are people who often apprehended, won't take milk and milk products because of the modern science says that they are lactose intolerance is there. My concern here it is, these are the things which are not common or generally applicable to all the people. There are only few people because of their host dependent factors will causes the manifestation of these ADRs. Beyond that, there are very few, and here as a we have to focus on this point. What are the drugs, foods, and the things which comes under the category? The data is lacking. Probably we are trying to inculcate more information under this category. And like the other type C, that's a chemical reactions. According to this, biological characteristics can be predicted from the chemical structure of the drugs or metabolite. Here, I would like to share one important incident from the history of medical sciences. We will be knowing about the accidental invention of cinchona bark. Probably that is the drug which was the drug of choice for prevention of this malaria as a drug of choice for the malaria. And now, because this is from this cinchona, chloroquine has been synthetically prepared from the cinchona bark. And people who are suffering with the malaria, they used to start to take the water from one river, a canal, and they started responding to the malaria treatment. Finally, people with intellectia, they started exploring that. What is the reason, rationale behind this? The people are benefiting after taking the water and getting free from the malaria infection. Later, they came to know that at the bank of this canal, there is a plant, and that bark is, the water is coming through the bark. Probably the bark contains chemicals which is flowing the water. And as you know that cinchona bark is the source for chloroquine, natural source of chloroquine. Probably it has helped the people and they started taking the benefit. Here, my concern is there are so many natural source products which contains chemicals and they are the remedy. Let me take an example to explain some of the things which is from the literature. There are so many drugs are there. Zaravand, it's a very common Aristolochia. And now it is found that Zaravand contains an aristolochic acid, which is a neurotoxic. Here, I would like to emphasize that herbs, generally the people believe that they are safe. The concept of the safe has to be revised because nowadays it is being reviewed. All herbs are the naturally occurring substances are not safe. They do have some adverse effects of the toxicity. Similarly, what we have learned with the observations are Zaravand is generally used in our system of medicine, even the Ayurveda and other herbal system of medicine. The latest scientific report says that Zaravand is a neurotoxic. It causes certain changes in the hippocampal area. Likewise, Babchi is the most common drug used among the vitiligo patients. Is a highly photosensitivity because it contains certain chemicals which made it an accidental, what is called the reaction with the sunlight. Atrilal is also a drug of choice for photosensitivity, this is Babchi, and for other indications also. The scientific report says it is a hepatotoxic contains. Sadabahar, it is Vinco rose, and now this is one of the wonderful drug, a natural source of a vincoblastin which contains an anti-cancerous activity. Several in vitro studies says that it has some teratogenic effect. Similarly, that Erend and Gugchi, that castor and Gugchi, that all of you know, they are something like they carry toxic effects. And similarly, Ganer, that Ganer is also a toxic. Kharakasak is nothing but the Ghogru. Several studies says that some of the chemicals in this Kharakasak Teristat trabelis contained, which are nephrotoxic, neurotoxic, and hepatotoxic effects. Though all these drugs are being used in our systems of medicine with a different indication, but by virtue of their certain chemical characteristic structure and what they contain, they also causes certain. So all these comes under the type C chemical reactions. Let me go straight forward with the type D, delayed reactions. All such a delayed reaction many years of the treatment. It can be due to something like if you are going on treating the patient with your compound drugs, the persistent use of such a drugs may causes there is an accumulation in the body, and that may causes organ damage and loss. We have a description of Adivya mineral drugs where we use mercury, arsenic, that lead Murdar Singh and Seemab and Samulfar are there. All these drugs, if the compounds of these drugs, if you use continuously for a long period, the chances of likely to be accumulated in the body and they can causes delayed manifestations of reaction. One study shows that Behidana mimic something like a poisonous effect of Murdar Singh, like a lead poisoning. So if you use these compounds for a long time, not as the single drugs, compounds for a longer duration, like delayed adverse drug reaction. Similarly, there are ADRs based upon the severity. Some adverse drug reactions are very minor, where they won't need any treatment. They don't need any antidotes or prolongation of hospitalization is required. They can be managed at the clinical level only. Beyond that, if you look at some moderate adverse drug reactions are there, required changes in the drug therapy, needs specific treatment, sometimes prolongs hospital stay, maybe for a day, 1 or 2 days. This is for of ADR. Apart from that, the severe ADRs are potentially life-threatening, causes sometimes permanent damage or requires intensive medical treatment also. Here, the biggest concern is pharmacovigilance is just focusing upon controlling and regulating all the drugs-related adversaries. Minor, moderate can be manageable. If it's severe, as I hope that my audience will be knowing that in the previous slide I told you, it can lead to death or capacitation, or sometimes the defect will be carried to the next generations also. So, one to prevent the severe ADR, one has to be taken care. Another, based upon the severity, there is another kind of reaction is the lethal one, where directly or indirectly contributes to the death of the patient. There are certain ADRs based upon the severity. Based upon the onset of these ADRs also, there we have a different types. If you administrate some drug to the patient, within 60 minutes of the administration of the drug, patient started complaining. It depends upon the activity, the mechanism of action of the drug. It may be mild, moderate, sometimes severe also. If any clinical manifestation which is unintended or noxious appear with the use of any pharmaceutical product less than 30 minutes, such manifested results will be considered as an acute ADR. Accordingly, if any reaction found between 1 to 24 hours within a day, such reactions ADRs will be treated as a sub. And finally, if any adverse reaction found beyond 2 days, such ADR will be considered as a latent. Probably we can say all these things of ADRs are, generally the ADRs will be occurred. There are certain other terminologies which comes under the ADR, like generally we talk about the side effects. We never speak about the adverse drug reaction. Side effect, secondary effect, toxic effect, idiosyncratic, allergy, photosensitivity, drug dependence, withdrawal reaction, tetrogenicity, mutagenicity, carcinogenicity, drug-induced diseases. These are all something like interchangeable or synonymous words for the ADRs. Let us have a small understanding about this. Side effect, generally we talk about the term side effect, which stands for any unintended effect of a pharmaceutical product. Here unintended means we never expect that. We never thought of, if I take this medicine, if I give this drug to any patient, it may not cause any harm. Here we don't intend something wrong. Here side effect is something, it is unintended effect of the pharmaceutical product occurring at a very normal dose, in the prescribed dose, used in human beings, which is related to the pharmacological property of the drug. For example, if you are giving habesurinjan, that is exclusively for the pain management of the joints, we won't expect any wrong with this. Sometimes, if it causes anything beyond the expected indication, and such a thing will be called as a side effect. That has to be confirmed with the thorough review of the medical literature of the pharmacological action of the drug. And like drug reaction, hypersensitivity, drug allergy, these are all different words. Generally, we use these terms, we use interchangeably, but there is a minor differences, a meager difference is there. Like if any person who complains of ADR, any drug reaction, if you look at that, if any adverse drug, based upon the frequency, we have categorized, the scientific fraternity categorize all these ADRs like very common is if any ADR occur more than one in a 10 times. So this is one, data shows that the frequency, so based upon that we categorize that there are very common ADRs, very frequent ADRs, uncommon ADRs, rare ADRs, very rare ADRs, based upon the manifestation and the number of people who have been affected. This one category of ADR, I thought to share with you. This slide is taken from the All India Institute of Ayurveda and this AYUSH Suraksha website, dedicated website about the aims and objectives and other information of pharmacovigilance activity on AYUSH system of medicine. Right. whenever there is a problem, there is an adversary, based upon the nature, the severity, either it is a mild, moderate, severe, a team of the people will assess it, and the program assistant associates and the person coordinator will take care about the causality assessment. It stands for determination of whether there is a reasonable possibility that the product is etiologically related to the adverse experience. If I have given a drug to any person, after the use of the drug, if the person complains of any adverse effect, a person is trying to find out, explore the determining whether there is a reasonable possibility that the product is caused this adverse experience. In this connection, there are certain terms we often use. Here, the causality assessment includes assessment of time relationship of the ADR, when the drug is given, up to what time, when the ADR has manifested. Apart from that, if the terms de-challenge and re-challenge is also used, the information will be collected about de-challenge and re-challenge, which stand for association or lack of association. Whether the ADRs are manifested due to the drug given, that is association, or not because of the drug. This kind of a phenomenon and mechanism will be applied that we call technically as a de-challenge and re-challenge to establish the relationship of the ADR with the drug administered. So this is what the causality assessment team generally will do. There are standard tools through which one can measure this ADR. There is a WHO assessment scale for adverse events. Likewise, Naranjo scale for adverse drug reaction assessment is there, where certain terms we use, based upon the assessment, any person can came to an opinion. These terms are like a certain, probably, possibly, possible, unlikely, conditional, unaccessible, or unclassifiable. Let us try to understand a little more about this. What is meant by certain? A clinical event, including laboratory test abnormality occurring in the plausible time relationship to a drug administration, and which cannot be explained by concurrent diseases, existing diseases, or other drugs or chemicals. The response to withdrawal of the drug, that is called as the de-challenge, should be clinically explorable. Find out. The event must be definitely pharmacologically or phenomenologically using a satisfactory re-challenge procedure if necessary. When you give a drug, after that if a person developed any ADR, based upon the mechanism, you are coming to the conclusion the manifested ADRs are just because of the drug given. This kind of opinion is called as the certain, and this can be using satisfactory re-challenging procedure if necessary. Right. Similarly, there is another term, probable or likely, used sometimes like interchangeable, where any clinical event, including laboratory test abnormality with a reasonable time sequence to administration of a drug, unlikely to be attributed to concurrent disease or other drugs or chemicals, and which follows a clinical reasonable response on withdrawal, the re-challenge. Such a things can be re-challenge, information is not required to fulfill this definition. Here what happened, there is a likely to, here what we are suspecting is that ADR may be due to, likely, probably may be due to. In such a case, no question of re-challenging will come. Possible, like when you know that we are thinking as a clinical event, including the laboratory test abnormality with a reasonable time sequence to administration of the drug, but which could also be explained by concurrent disease, existing disease, and other drugs or chemicals. Information on drug withdrawal may be lacking or unclear. In such a case, one can be say this is a possibly the ADR may be due to. Right. Unlikely is another term we use here, which stands for where drug administration which makes a causal relationship improbable, and in which other drugs, chemicals, or underlying disease provide plausible explanation. So here, these are all different terms we use in the causality assessment based upon the scoring. We'll go to the determination of ADR. There are other terms like conditional or unclassified, where there's reports of an adverse drug reaction, but which more data is essential for a proper assessment of the additional data and an examination. Similarly, unaccessible or unclassifiable is also, these are the two directly may not covers under the causality assessment. For the reporting purpose, these two things will be used. Here, my concern is this: as a person of pharmacovigilance, one has to know about that if there are ADR, how to report, in what format, what are the terms to be used for reporting the ADRs. The biggest question comes is how to recognize the ADRs. Generally, we think about that, how to recognize adverse drug reaction. But technically, it says that it's a very difficult, and sometimes it's impossible to distinguish from the being treated, since they may act through the same physiological and pathological pathways. But there are certain possible drug-related ADRs are there. Let me share my own experience. Yesterday, one of my patients, last week, we prescribed some drugs to them, and of course, she was doing very well. Based upon her some requirement, we added one sugar-based formula, Majun. Subsequently, in the follow-up, she complained about that after using this medication, I started little bit warmness in my body, along with the mild pain abdomen and loose stools of that. This kind of complaints were not there before she visited us. Immediately, because based upon the previous prescription, immediately we withdraw the drug what we have ordered we have prescribed in the subsequent visit. And we ask the patient to come in the next week. If the symptom persists, we'll try to go for further evaluation. Here, how to recognize the ADRs? One has to be certain that whether drug use is actual one and in advised dose or not. In the alternative system of medicine, we often come across certain problem issues are there. The quality control, availability of the right species of the drug is the biggest issue. Let me share in our own example. Ajwain, generally in the text it is mentioned that Ajwain is as a drug in some of the formulation. When you write Ajwain, probably the vendor will provide you Ajwain Desi. Instead of that, if it is Ajwain Khurasani is a categorized drug. It comes under the category of a 4th degree that can causes a different kind of reactions, ADR. So one has to ensure that when I prescribe the drug, whether the person received drug is actual one, what I have prescribed, and the administered doses is whether right what I have prescribed. Because these are the two important factors. Wrong drug and inadequate dosage or higher the prescribed doses is definitely causes ADR. Likewise, check the non-pharmacology of the medicine. Like as I told you, Ajwain Desi is Ajwain Khurasani is different. Ajwain Khurasani is definitely an antipsychotic kind of a drug, and its mechanism of action is different. Their indications are different from Ajwain Desi. If wrongly placed the drug, then thing will be different. I can add few more examples like Philphilacea, that is pepper is there. Kali mirch जिसे हम कहते हैं. Mostly this drug is adulterated. If you try to get the original Philphilacea, probably it is adulterated with the papaya seeds. Do you expect that the papaya seed will yield the result? Sometimes it may cause reaction, right? And try to establish the time relation between the drug intake and IDR, because you cannot protract it that whatever the problem I have developed after use of any new medication or the consistent use of medication, time relationship is more important. And this will help you to categorize the ADRs also, whether it is a delayed manifestation of ADR or acute or subacute or the chronic one. And by the same time, one has to take a proper history and examination of the patient with an appropriate laboratory investigation. And generally, most of the drugs are either hepatotoxic or neurotoxic and nephrotoxic. And based upon the target organ involvement, you can think of basic clinical history as well as the biochemical parameters to detect what kind of toxicity and which organ is involved. So here again, I just request all the audience to think about the pharmacology of the medicine causes manifestation, because most of the drug related information is imbibed with the indications and the contraindication that Muzirat and Musle also. Finally, determining the effect of the de-challenge and challenge. Once if there is an ADR, you can de-challenge it and you can re-challenge it also. In toto, this will help you to recognize the ADR. The question is, who should report? If I have come across the ADR, then generally people think about who should report. All health professionals can be reported. We are all health professionals. We are practicing physicians, doctors. Some people will be labeled as a family practitioners, medical specialists, dentists, nurses and other health workers, even the pharmacist. Sometimes the patient and the relatives also can inform to them. They can report it. And if the reactions are more serious adverse reaction, then you can inform to the marketing authority holders also. Here, all a responsible citizen, patient relatives, people from the health professionals can directly report it. Then what should be reported? If there are ADR, then what should be reported? Here, this is a little technical points here to be know. ADR resulting from any prescribed medicine. As a physician, as a practitioner, as a person from the science, if you are prescribing any medicine, if it gives any wrong, you just prescribe it, report it. Herbal medicine, we are the people from the herbal medicine, and some of the drugs which are available over the counter medications, all can be reported. Here, don't go with the condition. Causality does not need to have any establishment. Certainly, it should not cause any other adverse reaction, should not be measured, assessed. Irrespective of it is assessment, the causality assessment, you can report it. One question is here, sometimes the new medicines reported all suspected reaction, because nowadays in day to day there are new molecules are coming into the market. Similarly, the traditional people are also preparing their own compound drugs, marketing and distributing. If you think any suspected reaction, you please inform them, report it. But establishments are already using non-medicines also. Any serious or unusual suspected drug reaction can be informed. For example, from the medical history, we learn about that. According to the Paracelsus, that nothing is poisonous, nothing is safe. All the things are poisonous. Only the dosage will determine if it is a poison or the drug. Similarly, any continuously using old drug, old medicine also, sometimes it may prove a poisonous or something, it may cause a adverse drug reaction. Unusual suspected adverse reaction should be informed. If it then sometime what happened, there is an increase in frequency of the reaction also. Please ask them to mute, please. Yeah. Sometimes generally what happened, if the ADR is happened manifested for the first time, it will take very casual. Second time may not be. ADRs are also associated with drug food and drug food supplementation. And it has also been associated, found that there are medicine withdrawal. If you withdraw the medicine, the patient started complaining of certain ADRs. Generally, in the modern medicine, we have a good literature like phenotone, antipsychotic drugs, hypnotic drugs. If you withdraw this, the patient started doing nonsense things, something which is not unintended. Some overdose medications also give ADR. Medication errors, where not only overdosage, wrong medication also sometimes causes. Abusing of medicines and vulnerable cases. Here, I would like to emphasize about the vulnerable subject. Vulnerable cases may particularly the people who are older age people or senior citizens, or sometimes what we call it as pregnant children, geriatric population. One should be taken care because all the drugs cannot be given as a whole among them. So why to report? This is something like a very logical question. People say, why to report? If I report, what will be that thing? Will you take any action against them? Is it my responsibility? So for them only, it is just to be trying to emphasize here. Why to report is mean, the reporting is completely voluntarily. Nobody will coerce you, nobody will force you. The purpose is to improve quality of care offered to the patient. One, and reducing the medicine-related problems to improve treatment outcome. Here, all medicine-related problems, the problem not only encompasses adverse reaction, but also the cost of the drug is also being a concern. Improve patient confidence in the professional practice. Nowadays, medical practice, there are so many things are being taken place. People are losing faith, confidence among the practitioners because of issues. So this is also one of the responsibility. And moreover, access to feedback information on the medicine-related problem reported within the country and internationally. Like, very happy to share the information, like Dr. Galib sir has told that out of different countries globally, with respect to the herbal system of medicine, ADR reporting, the pharmacovigilance activity, probably we are the people. Our nation has taken a very leading in this field, and we are started documenting the reports, and all the data is available. That may help you to define the policies by the rulers. So please try to do some responsible action. And it's a personal satisfaction also, because I did something good and sometimes it is a moral and the professional obligations also, which makes you to report. And the question is, okay, how to and where to report? Generally, the people talk how to report, where to report. Sir has already told there is a dedicated website, AYUSH Suraksha. There is an online http://www.ayushsuraksha.com. If you access this, this is the Government of India Minister of AYUSH website, where you will get a detailed description of the online proforma. You can type all the information, the drug, all those things. And if you submit this, your confidentiality will be taken care. If you are a reporter, if you are a patient or any person, a team will be there in the rear end. They'll assess it, they'll monitor, they scrutinize this. Accordingly, they'll come in contact with the person who has reported, and appropriate measure will be taken. This is a national open level network. Next, second point is the Peripheral Pharmacovigilance Center. I am very happy to share that now on this project since 2017, Government of India under AYUSH, Ministry of AYUSH, around 74 peripheral pharmacovigilance centers are working throughout the India. Probably the number may likely to increase. We are very happy to have under the Unani, we have around 11 pharmacovigilance centers in each state. These are the very grassroots level units. They are collecting the information and forwarding to the higher agencies. A person whosoever come across the ADR, please try to find out the peripheral centers in your nearest area, go and report them. There is a format through which they'll collect the information. Beyond that, that IPvC niyam@gmail, we have a very dedicated email from the Intermediary Pharmacovigilance Center for Unani Drugs at National Institute of Unani Medicine, Bangalore. You can mail us or you can contact us. It is available. And beyond that, above us, we have the National Pharmacovigilance Center, and these are the two email. Dr. Galib sir also told you can contact, you can escalate any information, you can ask a query. All the related document reporting procedure will be explained to you. I may take a privilege to take specify. We have one dedicated form developed for this ADR reporting, where it's a very easily comfortable or a customized one, user friendly. If you go through the pages, each and every point will be clear. You can mention and hand it over to the nearest peripheral center. They will scrutinize, they'll forward it accordingly. The strategy will be made. I'm unable to escalate or access this ADR form. If anybody is interested, you can call me or the peripheral center, they can provide you this ADR form. Thank you for patiently learning and listening to me. Thank you. If you have any query, it's a time to ask a question, or at the end of this presentation, because Dr. Rachna Paliwal madam is also waiting after that also, or you just post question into the chat box so that I can able to attend your answers, please. Thank you for listening.
Thank you so much, sir. Sir, thank you so much, sir, for deliberating such a valuable and informative lecture on ADRs. And really, we are very much thankful to you, sir. Even after having a busy schedule and lot of responsibilities on you, you have delivered a descriptive information regarding the pharmacovigilance and ADR, sir. From our center and from our team, we are heartily thankful to you, sir. And thank you so much for you and for all your team, sir, who have supported us a lot in all aspects, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Now I request all the participants to please mute and turn off their videos so as to hear the speakers in a good manner and a clear manner. And I request all the other participants also to mute themselves and turn off their videos. Now it is the time to invite one more eminent speaker to this webinar. I mean, Dr. Rachna Paliwal, madam. Now let me take the privilege to honor to invite madam. Madam, Dr. Rachna Paliwal is a homeopathy postgraduate from National Institute of Homeopathy, Kolkata, and then she joined in the drug control cell of Ministry of AYUSH in 2016 after selection through UPSC. And then in the ministry, she is dealing with all technical and regulatory matters of ASU and H drugs and industry. She is a notified and only central drug inspector for homeopathy as an additional charge. And then in India. In short span of her service in the ministry, she has made herself conversant with the regulatory matters pertaining to Ayush drugs and has the zeal to work for the development of Ayush drugs as a whole by addressing the quality and safety issues with innovative ideas. Dr. Rachna Paliwal, madam, we are very much thankful to you, and we are very happy to invite you as a speaker. Now I request Dr. Rachna Paliwal, madam, to please deliver her deliberation in front of our participants. Over to Rachna Paliwal, madam.
Yeah, very good afternoon. Am I clearly audible and is the sound okay?
Yeah,
Madam, it's okay, please. Good.
Okay. So I take this opportunity to thank Principal Alak Unani Medical College, Kurnool, for conducting this pharmacovigilance awareness program, which is very essential. And I'm proud also about this college that being a peripheral pharmacovigilance center, they thought of this need of conducting a awareness program, and they have invited Dr. Galib, who is single-handedly and coordinating with everyone or with all the centers very efficiently. Dr. Galib have also presented a very nice description about the entire scheme. To Dr. Quamri, who has given a very well and informative description about how to report ADR and how to assess them, which is, I think, very well for this for utilizing this peripheral center. They should grab this information and use it for improving their center. And also to the coordinator, Dr. Sarfraz, for inviting and for coordinating this program. So with this thank you note, I start my presentation on misleading advertisement. I will take you to a world of advertisement, and in fact, at present in the social media network, when it is very easy to forward everything in just one click, it is becoming, we are living in a world which is very full of information, full of advertisement, and most of them are fake advertisement or fake news. So we are living in a fakeism world. So I will take you to this world and let you know that what all we should know about Ayush drug advertisement, and what is the contravention, how to report it, why we are in the need. We are all doctors over here. So why we are taking this into consideration, why it is kept in the pharmacovigilance scheme. So from with that note, I start my presentation, surveillance of misleading advertisement of Ayush drugs. So is the presentation visible?
Yes, madam. You're audible.
Okay.
Visible and audible, madam.
Okay, thank you.
Your presentation is not visible. Your presentation is not visible.
Okay, just hold on.
Presentation.
Switch off.
Just one minute.
डॉक्टर सरफराज एनेबल किया है मैडम को? हाँ जी. नो मैडम, इट्स ओके. या
Okay, fine. So so like I said that this world is full of in today's world there is full of misleading information and misleading people. So there is misleading advertisement also. Misleading advertisement per se, if we start off, then what is exactly misleading? They are showing something and they are leading to a wrong path, leading to your disaster. So that is misleading. Advertisement, if done responsibly, is not wrong. Through this presentation, I would let you know that how people are misleading and giving wrong information, and it's our responsibility to check them. So what you will get to learn from this presentation is there are separate act and rules pertaining to prohibition of advertisement of drugs as a whole, and I will let you know some definitions. Then sources of misleading advertisement. From which all sources this information about misleading advertisement is coming to Ministry of AYUSH. Then action taken by Ministry of AYUSH with respect to misleading advertisements. What is the role of pharmacovigilance centers in reporting this misleading advertisement? Which type of advertisements are to be reported? And what is the channel of reporting and contact person who will be responsible to take action on these advertisements? First of all, when pharmacovigilance, like Dr. Galib was also saying that this is the only program, our program of pharmacovigilance is the only program in entire world which has incorporated the concept of reporting of misleading advertisements also. So why this concept of reporting of misleading advertisement is kept under this scheme is because it is a part of drug information. Like when a patient is coming, we are taking the effect that medicine is causing and we are reporting unwanted effect which the medicine causing to the patient, and we are filling it for ADE and then to ADR. So we are taking that information. And through advertisement, drug information is given to the layman, to the consumers, and because of that wrong information given to the patients or the consumers, there is some mishappening with that patient. So we have to check this misleading advertisements also, because in general public there is a notion that Ayush drugs are safe since they are herbal or they have been used for so many years. But anything, like Dr. Quamri also mentioned, that anything can be food, anything can be poison. It is upon the dose which needs to be regulated, and medicines or drugs should be taken on prescription by some registered practitioners. So when these advertisements are coming for the lay persons on the television or newspapers, they are easily taking these medicines over the counter and consuming them on their own. So when these advertisements are coming, we should see whether this advertisement is appropriate for that medicine or not, or whether it is making a tall claim which can unwantedly lead for over medication or self medication. So to counter the self medication only, the reporting of misleading advertisement is necessary. When this task of reporting of misleading advertisement was given to the pharmacovigilance centers, it was seen that they are reporting the advertisements, but it is incomplete. So DO letter was sent in 2019 to all the pharmacovigilance centers, and in that specifically it has been mentioned that when you are reporting misleading advertisement, how you should report it. You should ascertain the violation or contravention of the legal provisions of the act, and you should also try to mention where this advertisement was printed or telecasted at what time, and what matter on in that advertisement you find that it is misleading or is in contravention, and if possible you need to mention the manufacturer or the advertiser name and their details. So if all this information are there in your reporting, then only we can take action. So in order to know what is the contravention and which rule it is or act it is contravening, we should know what is Drugs and Magic Remedies Objectionable Advertisement Act and rules. We should know about its sections and what it is all about. So I will first deliberate about Drugs and Magic Remedies Objectionable Advertisement Act 1954. It was enacted in 1954, so it is a long time back. So you will find some definitions which were prevalent at that time, but this I would like to inform you that this act is proposed to be amended. The process is going on with Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. They have taken the inputs from Ministry of AYUSH also. So there will be certain amendment. It's in draft stage right now. What is the objective of this DMR Act? Its first and foremost objective is to control advertisement of drugs in certain cases. I will let you know what are the cases in which the advertisement is altogether prohibited. to prohibit the advertisement for certain purposes of remedies alleged to possess magic qualities. So if any advertisement of a drug is made that magic चमत्कारी, इसमें चमत्कारी quality है, 100% effective है, या तुरंत 15 seconds you will find improvement. So if such advertisement or such claims are made, it is prohibited to provide for matters connected therewith. So this is the objective of DMR Act. Under this DMR Act, certain definitions are given. First is the definition of advertisement. It is any notice, circular, label, wrapper or other document. So any document, it can be the label of the medicine, which is also considered as an advertisement under this act. So on the label also, the manufacturer cannot write indications for such diseases which are mentioned under this act, or advertisement for such diseases are prohibited under this act. Those diseases names cannot be mentioned on the label. Any announcement made orally or by any means of producing or transmitting light, sound or smoke. So mind it, this DMR Act came in 1954. So that time there was no internet, there was no television as such. But with this definition, like by any means of producing, transmitting lights. But since I told you that this act is being amended, in that website advertisement or internet advertisement are being covered specifically. Then definition of drug. Now definition of drug in Drugs and Magic Remedies Act is different, and definition of drug under Drugs and Cosmetic Act is something different. Under this DMR Act, drug is mentioned as a medicine for internal or external use of human beings or animals. This part of definition is covered in Drugs and Cosmetic Act also. Next, under this act, it is mentioning any substance intended to be used for or in the diagnosis, cure, mitigation, treatment or prevention of disease in human beings or animals. So any substance, if it is claiming that it can be used for treatment of prevention of any disease, then it is also considered as a drug under this act. Any article other than food. Any article means if I say that this my mobile phone, if you keep it for 10 minutes with yourself, then your glucose level will come down. Or if I say if you wear this Kavach, then you will be rid of gallstone. So any article other than food, if it is intended to affect or influence in any way the structure or any organism function of the body of human beings or animals. If with that article you are claiming to treat or prevent a disease, then it will be also considered a drug under this Drugs and Magic Remedies Objectionable Advertisement Act. And since it will be covered under this act, any contravention about that will come under this act. So any article intended for use as a component of any medicine, substance or article referred to in subclause 1, 2, 3. Then magic remedy. Magic remedy is any talis, mantra, kavach and any other charm or any kind which is alleged to possess miraculous powers for or in the diagnosis, cure, mitigation, treatment or prevention of any disease. Or in any way the structure or any organ function of the body of human beings or animals. So any mantra also, if it is saying that it has a magic quality and you are advertising about it, it is also prohibited. Then prohibition of advertisement of drug which suggest or are calculated to lead to the use of that drug for. Now I am coming to specific diseases which are mentioned for which advertisement is strictly prohibited, like for procurement of miscarriage in women or for prevention of conception in women. So regarding contraception, if you or for contraception, prevention or miscarriage. If you are claiming advertising by any drug for this purpose, then it is strictly prohibited under this act. Like in this advertisement, they are claiming that बिना किसी side effect के, है ना, and 6 माह में मात्र 1 गोली, गर्भ निरोधक गोली. So such type of advertisement of any Ayush drug is prohibited. Then maintenance or improvement of capacity of human beings for sexual pleasure. For sexual pleasure, any type of advertisement, if it is being done, then it is strictly prohibited. And we are sorry to say that maximum Ayush drug advertisements are seen for this purpose. And I would also like to say that many of the advertisement, they will say that it is for this purpose. But under this act, it is saying that if with the advertisement you interpret or it is calculating to lead for that indication, then also it is prohibited. Like in this advertisement I am showing you, nowhere it is directly indicating that it is for sexual pleasure or for sexual improvement. But if you interpret the contents of the advertisement, if you interpret the label of the product, then it shows that it is indicating towards sexual pleasure. So this type of advertisement is prohibited. You cannot advertise for correction of menstrual disorder in women. Many a times we see of Ayurvedic or Unani drugs which are claiming for correcting PCOD syndrome, which are advertising for correcting the menstrual irregularities or leukorrhea. And in fact, many people comes to Ayurvedic or Unani physicians after taking these medicines on their own. So, and then understand that how much hormonal imbalance can this medicines cause if it is not taken in a regulated dose or if it not taken properly under consultation of a doctor. Then there are certain diseases which are clearly specified in the schedule of this act. There are 54 such diseases which are elaborated over here. You can see from appendicitis, blindness, cancer, cataract, deafness, diabetes, fits, gallstone, goiter, heart diseases, obesity, sterility in women. All types of diseases are covered under this. And if you go through this entire list, you will see that this has been specified in this act, but still most of the Ayush drugs are advertising on these indications like obesity, patla kare, mota kare, we see height badhaye. So all these are prohibited under this act, but still we find advertisement of these diseases. So, like I said, if they are not directly claiming about or not directly mentioning the disease name, but if we see the content or calculate to lead to the use of that drug for that purpose, it is prohibited. Disease, disorder or condition which requires, if it is indicating for a disease, disorder, condition which requires timely treatment in consultation with a registered medical practitioner, or for which there are normally no accepted remedies. So like for COVID only, if we see in the schedule, nowhere COVID is mentioned. Obviously, this is a recent disease. But if we see this definition that any disease, disorder, or condition which requires timely treatment in consultation with a registered medical practitioner, or for which there are normally no accepted remedies. Till date, there is no accepted remedies for COVID. So if you are advertising for such a disease which has a no accepted remedies, then it is prohibited. And recently, I think yesterday only, Supreme Court has also declared that Ayush doctors can prescribe Ayush medicines in conjugation with other medicine, but they cannot advertise regarding cure or regarding treatment of COVID. So you can understand that advertising for treatment of COVID is prohibited as per this act also through this definition. Here is an example of a medicine which was quite broadcasted everywhere on WhatsApp and everything, and people were forwarding it like anything. And in the beginning of this COVID outbreak only, so see, when you are forwarding these messages without interpreting it clearly, and people take it on its own with not knowing how much dose they have to take and for how many days interval. So self-medication, if they are taking it on its own regular basis, every medicine can have a harmful effect. It is not so. It is a wrong notion that homeopathic medicine will not have any side effects if you are taking it. So it should be regulated by a physician, and dose should be in recommended quantity only. Then prohibition of misleading advertisement relating to drugs. There are here is one more example like 7 दिनों में natural गोरापन दिलाए बिना side effect आयुष, natural fairness saffron cream. So like I said ki over here, if you are making any false claim of for a drug, like in this advertisement which I will show, a particular disease is not mentioned, but false claim like 100% natural gorapan. If you are making such claims, you have to substantiate it by some study which you have conducted, or you should have proper documentation regarding this its effect. Otherwise, you are making a contravention to this act, and you will be liable for penalty under this act. If you are making a false impression regarding the true character of the drug, then also it is misleading. Like over here, it is written natural fairness saffron cream. So it is saying saffron cream. Now we are not knowing that how much saffron. You all know from Unani practitioners also that how much saffron costs. So is it feasible or is it viable that in a fairness cream of so much quantity, how much saffron they will be able to add, and they are showing like they are mixing a handful of saffron into this. So these things are misleading. Or 7 दिनों में natural गोरापन पाए. This is also a tall claim to that you can't bring in fairness in 7 days. In fact, you will see that Fair and Lovely cream. They were given notice again and again, and now recently they have changed the name of their cream from Fair and Lovely to Glow and Lovely. So you cannot advertise for fairness as per this act. Then in case, what will be the penalty if you contravene this if you are found to be violating this act? In case of first conviction, there will be imprisonment for 6 months or with fine or with both. And in case of subsequent conviction, this imprisonment may extend to 1 year or with fine or both. Now, who is empowered to take action under this act? So any gazetted officer of the state government, not central government. Any state government officer, gazetted officer who is notified under this act will be only able to take action. They can enter and search the place where these advertisements are being made. They can seize the advertisements. They can examine and record, register, document, or any material object found in place mentioned above. So any rule or act, there are some savings also. So savings are who can advertise, or exceptions are given under this act, like any signboard or notice displayed by a registered medical practitioner on his premises. As such, by ethics of the councils only, the registered medical practitioner cannot advertise, but under this act, if the registered medical practitioner is putting a signboard on his premises where he is practicing, just there he can advertise or he can write that, okay, I am dealing with such and such diseases, or I treat such and such diseases. Only there it is allowed. He cannot make an advertisement about his treatment on newspaper, on website, on Facebook page, on television. He cannot. A registered medical practitioner cannot advertise anywhere else. Only at his premises of clinic he can put a signboard and write over there that he is specialized in such and such diseases. Any treatise or book from a bona fide scientific or social standpoint, if in a scientific paper we are writing this medicine is useful for this, or if in a medical book it is written, it is allowed. Any advertisement which is sent confidentially to a registered medical practitioner. So if a company is sending in a confidential way to a registered medical practitioner an advertisement, or indicating that this medicine will be suitable for this type of diseases, but mind it should be in a confidential manner. If he is sending it, then it is allowed. Any advertisement relating to a drug printed or published by government in public interest. So government is allowed in public interest if they are advertising that this medicine is effective for these diseases, then it is allowed. Any advertisement with previous sanction of government granted prior to this act. So this was all about Drugs and Magic Remedies Act. Now we come to Drugs and Cosmetic Act 1940 and Rules 1945. So under this Drugs and Cosmetic Act, there are specific provisions for Ayurveda, Siddha, Unani and homeopathic drugs. Since we are dealing with just advertisement, so I will just highlight that these are the sections and rules which pertains to Ayurveda, Siddha, Unani drugs. Like section 3A, 3H defines the ASU drugs, and for homeopathic drugs. Then under rules, the ASU drugs are defined under Rule 151 to 170, and there is Schedule E1 for poisonous drug substances, Schedule T, which is related to good manufacturing practices of Ayurveda, Siddha, Unani drugs. So these are the rules under the Drugs and Cosmetic rules pertaining to ASU drugs. Now there is a specific Rule 170 of Drugs and Cosmetic rules which pertains to prohibition of advertisement of AYUSH ASU drugs. So like we see in Drugs and Magic Remedies, no power is there for central government. Okay, but in Rule 170 of DNC rules, you will see that this has been inserted recently on 21st December 2018 for prohibition of advertisement of ASU drugs. In this, the USP of this rule is here there is prior checking of contents of advertisement by the concerned state licensing authority. Like if an advertiser is intending to make an advertisement about his drug, he have to show the entire content of the advertisement first to the state licensing authority, and they will approve this advertisement, then only it will be allowed for advertisement. Under this rule, power is also delegated to central government to prohibit any advertisement of the ASU drugs by notifying in the official gazette in the public interest. Under DMR, there was no power of central government. And under this rule, like you see in DMR Act, the penalty was either imprisonment or fine. Nowhere it was talking about the license. So under this Rule 170, the state licensing authority has been given the power to suspend or cancel the license of the manufacturer of ASU drug in case it is found that they are making a misleading or wrong advertisement. So whenever the manufacturer have to apply for approval of such advertisement, his advertisement can be cancelled if he is giving an incomplete information, if contact details of the manufacturer is missing, if the contents are vulgar or obscene, if he is claiming for advancement of height, dimension, capacity, performance of male or female sexual organs, they are taking any celebrity or government official in their advertisement, if it is advertising about a government or taking the name of any government or autonomous organization, if it is making any false impression about the true character of ASU drug, and if it is any making any misleading claim about the effectiveness of the said drug. So in all such cases, the advertisement of the manufacturer will be rejected. So now we come to the measures. All this was about what rules and regulations are in place. Now what action has been taken regarding misleading advertisement? So first we have to know that what are the sources from which these advertisements are coming to Ministry of Ayush. First is from you all, that is from all the pharmacovigilance centers, from a body which is ASCI, Advertising Standard Council of India, from the state licensing authorities. Like I said, the state government has the authority to take action against a misleading advertisement. So, but which state licensing authorities will take the action? For that, we have to know that where that product have been manufactured or from which state this product has got the license. That state licensing authority can take action on that manufacturer for advertising misleading content. So if it is found that a Delhi manufacturer who is licensed from Delhi is making an advertisement and it has been circulated to Maharashtra also, so Maharashtra State Licensing Authority can report it to us and we can direct it to Delhi State Authority. Then some advertisements are sent directly from the consumers to Ministry of Ayush. Some are as VIP or a VIP reference or from PMO. And next is from Gamma Portal. Gamma Portal is a dedicated portal of Department of Consumer Affairs. In the next slide, I will deliberate about the Gamma Portal. So from all these sources, when the advertisement is coming to Ministry of Ayush, they will filter it according to the state to which it pertains, and we will forward it to the concerned state authority and then make follow-up about it. This is a WhatsApp number of Advertising Standard Council of India on which any consumer can directly click the photo of the advertisement and send it to them for action. Actually, ASCI cannot take direct action. They will review it in their council, and if it is actually found to be contravening the act, then they will send it to Ministry of Ayush for further action. So regarding Gamma Portal is grievances against misleading advertisement, and it is a dedicated portal of Department of Consumer Affairs. Under this, nodal officers are being assigned from Ministry of Ayush. Myself is the nodal officer. So under this portal, any consumer can easily register their complaint about a misleading advertisement, and it will show in the dashboard of Ministry of Ayush, and they can take down the advertisement, filter it, and notify it to the concerned nodal officer in the state or the state licensing authority. This is the picture of that Gamma Portal. Now, state licensing authority, what action they are doing? They have issued show cause notice to defaulter or the advertiser, and some defaulters have been also convicted under this act. Like in Maharashtra, they have been very proactive and they have convicted certain manufacturers under this act. They appoint the gazetted officer who will take action against the manufacturer, and some state have also notified nodal officer for Gamma Portal. Now, what other actions have been taken? We have been following it with Ministry of Information and Broadcasting, because the advertisements which are coming on televisions and websites, that is not under our control, or if it goes beyond if the advertiser is frequently advertising it, then we take it with Ministry of Information and Broadcasting. And we also see that most of the advertisements which are coming, they only provide a phone number. In that, we cannot get any manufacturer detail or in which state it is being licensed, it has a license of. So it is very difficult to take action on such advertisements or such manufacturer. So Ministry of Information Broadcasting issued an advisory to all channels to see for compliance of provision of DMR-OA Act and also to advertise only those products which have valid license issued by a state licensing authority. So this action has been done by follow-up from Ministry of AYUSH, so that at least we know if they are advertising, we know that who is the manufacturer and where it is licensed to take action. Then Ministry of AYUSH also issued an advisory on 31st August 2018 to all the manufacturer and the advertising agencies to refrain from using the name of government department or institution in the advertisement of AYUSH drugs. Naturally, when we see that an advertisement is coming taking the name of a government council or taking the name of Ministry of AYUSH, unauthorized name. If it is authorized, then still, but in Rule 170, it is still prohibited. So if it is using a name of a government body, obviously the common man, what they will think, that okay, government is certifying it or government is approving it, that means this must be of some quality, so we can take it blindly. So with this, they go for self-medication, which is very harmful. So this advisory was issued to prohibit to ask them to not use the name of government department or institution in their advertisement. Also, a caution was issued in leading newspapers for general public not to fall prey to such fake calls and advertisement of AYUSH drug using the name of government department. Many of people have complained to us that they are getting calls stating that they are calling from Ministry of AYUSH, and Ministry of AYUSH has launched a new drug for this and this disease. So you can order this by dialing this number or through the website, and it will deliver to you. And such complaints are coming to us, and in some cases, in some extreme cases, we also find that such consumers send us the bill of the medicines to us, to Ministry of AYUSH, saying that since we were told that this drug is being propagated by Ministry of AYUSH, so make reimbursement of this medicine since it is not effective. I did not find this medicine to be effective in my case, so you have to make this reimbursement. So that's why we issued this caution to not to fall prey to such fake calls, saying that it is from some government department or institution for promoting sale of the product. Then we have a AYUSH portal, which is a online drug license portal for AYUSH drugs. Under this, it is being developed right now. Under this, there is provision for reporting of misleading advertisement, and through this, we can directly forward it to the state licensing authority. Now, all said and done, there is a big challenge because you can see that still there are so many advertisements of AYUSH products on the newspapers, televisions, and internet. So why this is happening? The challenge is the compliance is not adequate. Like most of the state licensing authorities, they are not taking strong actions against the defaulters. So weak enforcement mechanism in the states. Then most of the advertisements which are coming on television, they have a pan-India circulation through internet and TV. So it is difficult to check them. Then it is pertinent to keep a regular track of such objects in the advertisement and report them. Like we have taken action on some advertisement, and they are saying, okay, we are complying with whatever you are saying and we are not advertising it now. But after a few months, if they are again advertising, so a regular track of such objectionable advertisement is required, which is very difficult. So thus we thought of this need of surveillance component under pharmacovigilance, because under pharmacovigilance, it is a vast network of 74 peripheral pharmacovigilance centers. So these centers are on the field, and these centers are in each such state or districts wherein they are directly interacting with the consumers. Like patients are coming to you they are saying that they have seen this advertisement and they have taken this medicine. And in some cases, we find that they are bringing the sample of the medicine to the doctor also. So from the peripheral pharmacovigilance centers, you have this opportunity that you are directly in touch of the consumers. You can take that product from them or take that advertisement from them and you can send it to us, because many a times we cannot take action if we cannot know that who is the manufacturer or what is the license number or where it is licensed. Also, you can directly interact with the consumers and make them understand that these advertisements are not appropriate and actually you should not take any medicine based on any advertisement. In fact, you should consult us. We are sitting for you, or you can tell them that if you see actually that this complaint which has occurred in that patient because of taking a medicine for long term under self medication, so you can make them aware about these advertisement also, and you can ask them also to report any such advertisement through these portals or through this mechanism which I have deliberated over here. So this is regarding that surveillance component of pharmacovigilance. So role of pharmacovigilance centers is safety monitoring of drugs, proper dissemination of drug information, create awareness among public against self-medication, reporting of adverse drug events, and tracking manufacturer, supplier, marketing company, and reducing channel of action by directly forwarding. Like what was happening from the centers, it is coming to, from the peripheral centers, it is coming to center, then we are filtering it, then we are again sending it to state licensing authority. Instead of that, what we have thought is now making this track, making this channel short. So we have empowered the pharmacovigilance centers to directly send such complaints to the state regulators. If you are in Andhra Pradesh and you find that this manufacturer is of Andhra Pradesh only, you can take those advertisements and send it directly to your state regulator, state licensing authority. I think the entire list of state licensing authority we have also given to you, and and we have also informed the state regulators to consider all such advertisements which are being sent from pharmacovigilance centers and take action on such advertisement as soon as possible. So this was regarding that role of pharmacovigilance centers. Now on 1st April 2020, an order was issued regarding prohibition of advertisement for COVID. So this is that order. On 2nd July 2020, we have directed all the state licensing authority for taking cognizance of cases or instances brought to their notice by the pharmacovigilance centers and to take action against them. So with this, pharmacovigilance centers have been empowered to send it directly to the state licensing authority. Now, with this pharmacovigilance centers and reporting of misleading advertisement through pharmacovigilance scheme, we have found that total 9369 misleading advertisement have been reported from August 2018 to September 2020, and 185 misleading advertisement, particularly related to COVID, have been reported from April to July 2020. This is an example, like we find that on social media some advertisement is being circulated, and we take action on them, and when they say ki, okay, we are complying, we will not advertise it any longer, we say if you are propagating a misleading information on the social network, you have to also publish a corrigendum or compliance report on the social media network only, that people should know that this was a wrong information given by you. So like this in some Ayurvedic firm saying कि आयुष मंत्रालय की ओर से बताए गए, and they are claiming about Ministry of Ayush. So again, after our action, he has given a social media statement of being wrong in his statement, and he is sorry for that. Video is also being circulated for public awareness. I will show it over here, which is regarding misleading advertising. Coming in your contact to see this advertisement and be aware that it is a internet problem. So awareness to the consumers that they should not go by any advertisement which is claiming for like diabetes or for stones. They should not go by the face value, and for this such serious disease condition they should take
easy
medicine.
cure for your diabetes is guaranteed. Order this miraculous medicine today.
Mom, should I order this for you? Wait. Ayurvedic, Unani, Siddha and homeopathic medicines should not be consumed without an AYUSH doctor's prescription.
Okay.
That's right. It's a misleading advertisement. Under Drugs and Cosmetics Rules 1945 and Drugs and Magic Remedies Act 1954, misleading promotion of medicines cannot be done. Report any misleading or objectionable ads on AYUSH license to your state AYUSH licensing authority or on the Gamma portal. Misleading advertisements are meant to mislead. Save yourselves and don't pay them much heed.
So this was the advertisement. You can make the consumers aware about it and make them aware that it is very important to take medication. Maybe it is, you are thinking that it is AYUSH medicine, it is safe, but still for any serious disease, you should take the consultation of a registered medical practitioner and then only take the medicine for your treatment. So that is all. Thank you for your patient hearing, and I hope with this information we will be able to fill in the gap of misleading advertisement, and we will be able to check 100% this misleading advertisement in near future. For any query, you may email to the email IDs given below. Thank you all for your patient hearing.
Thank you. Thank you, Rachna Paliwal madam, for sparing your valuable time and your valuable lecture. In detail, we came to know about the ADRs and how to report and how to fill the ADR forms, and then misleading advertisements, how to trace. Really, it was a very descriptive and informative lecture from yourself. And on behalf of our center and our team, Peripheral Pharmacovigilance Center, Dr. Abdul, Unani Medical College, Kurnool, we are very much thankful to you, madam. And then let me take the honor to take the vote of thanks. The main thing which I want to share with all the participants is that to conduct a program, it's not so much easy, but one man cannot perform this work. The team behind the successful conduct of this webinar is the first. I want to express in front of you. First of all, the man behind the success and the man behind the conduct is our mentor, my mentor especially, Dr. Aleemuddin Quamri sir, who always gave his encouragement and guidance and supervision to conduct this program. So I heartily thankful to my mentor, Dr. Aleemuddin Quamri sir, for sharing your knowledge and for supervising us. And I'm very much thankful to your team also, sir, who always Dr. Rabia Malik madam, and then Dr. Afrin Siddiqui and Dr. Anzar Alam and all the team members, Dr. Razak, and then all the team members of you, sir. And then I'm very much thankful to Dr. Galib sir and Dr. Rachna Paliwal madam, and then especially Ministry of AYUSH, who have given such a great opportunity to conduct such an awareness program from our center. And then last but not the least, I'm very much too thankful my team, that is Peripheral Pharmacovigilance Center, Kurnool, Dr. Abdul, Unani Medical College, Andhra Pradesh, myself, Dr. Sarfaraz Nawaz, co-coordinator, and then Dr. Abdul Razak, who is the program assistant of this program, and then my guide and my lecturer, my senior colleague, Dr. Fazlur Rahman Siddiqui sir, and who always make his supervision. And then I am very much thankful to our principal in charge, Dr. Mir Zainul Abidin Khan sir, who has allowed us to conduct such a program. And then my friend Abdul Mannam, who always shared his technical support with me and my team. And finally, good student Taiba Sheikh, who always extend her cooperation. And then my friend Dr. Dilawar Beg, who encouraged me morally in all the aspects. So I take the privilege to hand over my to Dr. Aleemuddin Khamri sir to say a few words regarding the program, sir. Over to Khamri sir.
Thank you, Dr. Sarfraz, for organizing such a wonderful webinar. I'm very much grateful to Dr. Rachna Paliwal madam, she was with us, Dr. Galib, and for the wonderful information sharing with us, and all the participants who are behind this program, and other technical team from my end and the technical team from your end, and the Ministry of AYUSH, and this particular project, Pharmacovigilance project, and management from your institution, and all the young charismatic people who make this program very, I hope this is very successful webinar, and all the people associated with this project from different parts of the country, and all the peripheral centers. This is a conclusion remark. I extend my warm and heartfelt greetings to all the people who make this program successful. Thank you once again, Dr. Rachna Paliwal ji, and in absence, Dr. Galib, I know he is attending one important meeting, for being part of this program. I hope we come to the conclusion. I request the program to be closed here. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir.